Hi guys, today I thought I would just talk a little bit about how I came to sort of be where I am in my curly hair journey, and mainly why I stopped following the curly girl method. Now I'm going to start this video by saying that I am in no way sort of slagging off and shaming people who follow the curly girl method. If it works for you, fantastic. It just personally didn't work for me, and I'm going to sort of outline that in a little bit more detail in this video. So the main reason why I looked at switching up my routine, I did actually follow the curly girl method religiously for nearly 3 years. When I started my Instagram channel back, was it last year or the year before? Either way, when I started following my when I started up my Instagram account, I actually followed the curly girl method religiously. So this is what my hair looked like. So I thought it was pretty sort of spot on, but I think it was just sheer coincidence. I got some like birthday money or something, so I just decided to get a shampoo. I think just because it was on offer, just on the off chance. And then as it happened, I found that my hair had been in need of a shampoo. I'd been sort of every couple of weeks doing an apple cider vinegar rinse, as well as co-washing, and something just still didn't feel quite right. So I think that's why I sort of got the shampoo. But yeah, I found that my hair, the more I sort of co-wash my hair, it even though I use curly girl approved products, it was getting a bit weighed down. So that's why I sort of started looking at using a shampoo again. I mean, I don't use it a lot. I don't shampoo every single day. I don't even shampoo every wash day. I'll shampoo a couple of times, then I'll do a co-wash. I just sort of listen to what my hair needs. Also, where my hair naturally is so dark, I found that using semi-permanent hair dyes doesn't really have an effect on my hair. So I wanted to I quite like having quite bright hair. So I found that I needed the permanent hair dye because it has the peroxide in it. It gives that lift to create a more vibrant result. So I found that my hair liked that. And obviously using permanent hair dyes with peroxide and ammonia and all that, they're not considered curly girl approved because they often contain like ingredients like sulfates, and the conditioners often contain silicons. Now, I don't use the conditioners that come with a hair dye. I always read the ingredients, and sometimes the ingredients might seem safe, but sort of just to be extra safe, and because obviously I know I'm breaking the rules by using a permanent hair dye, I will dye my hair, but then I will condition and sort of detangle with my own conditioner. I also, to be honest, I was struggling to keep up with the rule changes. They sort of, I don't know, I didn't really follow it that religiously to begin with. Like, I did in that I followed the rules, but I didn't sort of read into it. I didn't get the book. I didn't follow the founder, Lorraine Massey, I think her name is. I didn't sort of follow her on social media or anything. I just basically followed the principles, but then they sort of kept changing the rules, I found, and it was all just getting really confusing because what would be safe one week would be not safe the next, and vice versa. So it was all just getting a bit sort of overwhelming for me. So obviously I've got other things going on in my life. I don't have time to just sit and look at following the curly girl method. So that was another sort of reason why I just sort of decided to look elsewhere, basically. The other thing is sort of with the constant changing of the rules, some people on social media were taking it a bit seriously. So you would ask for help in a curly girl approved, like a curly girl method group, complete newbie, you've never looked after your natural hair before, you'd ask for help, and some of the comments were actually quite rude. They're quite patronising, and it was almost sort of, it felt a bit like a cult almost. It was a bit unwelcoming to sort of the newbies I found. And that's actually part of the reason why I've started this channel, because I'm aware that it can be so sort of overwhelming and almost intimidating, because there's just so much information about looking after your curly hair. So I always tried, even in the groups before I left, I would always try, if somebody asked a question, no matter how sort of obvious the question might be, to that person it obviously isn't obvious. So I would always respond nicely. But then some of the comments, it was, say they made a mistake using a product that's not safe. Easily done in the early days. I still occasionally slip up. If I sort of, even if I don't use the product, I will look at going to use it. So it's easily done making these mistakes, but a lot of the comments were, we don't do that here, that's not a safe product. Or somebody would go, is this a safe product? Can I use this? And there would just be loads of answers of just no, and nobody would explain why it wasn't safe. So I just found it wasn't very helpful, it wasn't very friendly, it wasn't welcoming to sort of newbies. So I just removed myself from the group. I am still in a couple of curly girl groups because I find they're not quite as strict. But yeah, it was sort of the strict official curly girl groups, I just found they were just a little bit much for me. So, like I said at the beginning, I am not sort of telling people that follow the curly girl method that they're wrong. If it works for you, like I said, that's amazing, you found something that works for you. I find, particularly because I've got the finer, wavier hair, co-washing alone doesn't work for me. So I'm aware that the rules have probably changed since I stopped following these groups, but avoiding ingredients like silicons, waxes, mineral oils, I agree with avoiding them, because as far as my understanding is, they coat the hair, they trap out moisture, and then as a result you have to use a harsh sulfate shampoo to remove those so you can then put the moisture back in, but then in turn the sulfates are drying. That I do agree with, avoiding the sort of baddie products. It's just sort of, I don't think it's the end of the world if you do use it. So I've seen some people, they accidentally, say their partner accidentally washes their hair with a shampoo. Some people absolutely freak out at that. Or for example, they wanted to use like a fancy hair chalk for crazy hair day at school. That's got silicone in. People, they just panic. And it's just sort of, I just want to say to these people, and I think I do to be fair, it's only hair, like you don't need to sort of take it so seriously. Like I get you want your hair to look as best as you can, but if you constantly sort of stick to these rules like religiously and you don't sort of give yourself any wiggle room, if your hair changes or your hair's needs change, that might not work anymore. To you too. So that's sort of why I don't focus so much on following the curly girl method. It's more I sort of pay attention to what my hair needs, and I sort of adapt my routine to what it needs. So if my hair is feeling a bit producty, I might do a apple cider vinegar rinse, or I will shampoo. If my hair's feeling a bit dry and thirsty, I will deep condition or co-wash. If my hair is feeling a bit mushy and a bit limp, I will do a protein treatment. And like I said, I do try and avoid the waxes and silicones and all that sort of stuff that will clog up your hair. But I don't let it stress me out. So if you're a complete newbie, you're wanting to look at how to care for your curly hair, you're getting intimidated by all these sort of harsh comments and all these strict rules, I would say just take a step back and focus on your own particular hair. So every head of hair is different. So once you've sort of taken the time to understand, not like massively, you don't have to know your hair inside out, but it does sort of help to know your hair's porosity and density and whether your hair is coarse or fine, just because that can sort of help identify which products might and might not work. So that is just my sort of take on the curly girl method. I would say it does work in principle, and I do like the fact that there is this whole movement for embracing your natural curls. It's got me where I am today. However, I do feel like some people do need to sort of understand it's only hair. If a product doesn't work, it's not the end of the world. If you use the wrong ingredient, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, so that is my take on it. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I think I've said everything I want to say. Let me know down in the comments if you agree with me. Please be kind. Also, my inbox is always open on Instagram, email, and the comments on YouTube. If you've got any questions, you need any help with recommendations for products, please feel free to reach out to me. I will always be nice. As always, don't forget to hit like, subscribe and share, and I will see you soon. Bye bye! I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Oh, don't you hate it when you go to sneeze and then the sneeze goes? Sneeze has come back. I think it's the ring light because it's a bright light. It's like when you look at the sun. Oh dear. My brain went blank there. So using the let's start again. My daughter's there going hugga wugga. She wants to watch the Muppets. Anyway.